Recording. All right, people. Yeah, today we're going to talk about really cool stuff, really cool gaming stuff. We here we have Dan, Archer Dan.
Hello.
So
Hello.
yeah, Dan, you're really excited about this game. So why don't you just
Yeah.
just start talking about it?
I was about to start into it and you're like, "Hold on, let me press record
Yep.
first." Um, I don't have the facts laid out in front of me, but this is as best as I can understand it from somebody who's been looking out for this game for a long time. Way back in 2012, um we heard about Phantasy Star Online 2. Finally the sequel to Phantasy Star Online.
From the
Um
Dreamcast.
yeah, from the Dreamcast days. um,
It was a long
just
ass
as
time.
which was released in Japan back in December of 2000.
Yeah.
So it's 12 years later, and Japan's getting Fantasy Star Online 2. And there was an English website for Fantasy Star Online 2 saying that we were supposed to be getting it like when it was first announced in 2012. Maybe it was 2013 then. Um and that website was quiet for
For
years.
years, yeah. I mean,
Um,
Sega
yeah,
didn't like what was Sega doing all those years with that franchise? Like we there was no other Fantasy Star Online for any game.
nope.
Um, it's just that Final Fantasy Star from the PlayStation 2, was it? What was this? Fantasy. I have it over here. Just I think
Yeah,
it's
there was something around in that generation, like Xbox or like Xbox 360 even like had like something called Blue Burst, which looked a lot like Fantasy Star Online episodes 1 and 2, the one that everybody was
yeah,
attached
it's the
to.
same
And
game.
there's also Fantasy Star Universe.
The Universe was the PlayStation 2 one.
Okay,
Yeah, and
and
for the rest
I
of the
didn't.
other consoles, because the GameCube had the original Final Fantasy from the Dreamcast and also the Xbox One. The only one that was different was the PlayStation 2 version. It was like, huh? Yeah, like what?
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, back in the day, I mean, the internet, bro. I mean, Jesus, did you ever get to play online back in those days?
Oh no, there wasn't any way that my my parents then wanted to pay like a monthly subscription. That was like completely unheard of. That's a different time then, you
Yeah,
know.
it's
Everything's a subscription service now.
yeah.
Uh absolutely, yeah, like everything's a subscription service, right? But like, it's the whole thing of like, no, you already paid for the game. You're not like, it was just one of those things. You're not going to pay, so much a month for a game that you already just paid for. You have yeah, that's ridiculous. It's like completely unheard of then. Um so it took a few years. Not until my later teen years when I checked out like Star Wars Galaxies and World of Warcraft later the fact, because Fantasy Star for me came before those, because that's what got me attached to this series was playing it on GameCube, episodes 1 and 2 on the GameCube. But even though I didn't have online, you were able to kind of replicate the experience. You were able to play the entire game local split screen with friends,
Oh yeah, I do remember
and so
that.
that's yeah, and so that's what me and friends did. It was mostly just three of us, so the map would fit perfectly in the fourth person spot. um and yeah, we would split screen, everybody's characters all fit across the two memory cards, and
Oh
we would
yeah,
do stuff.
I think
We would do stuff together.
that was on the Xboxes and on the GameCube version, because the
Mhm.
Dreamcast was not capable of having those split screen, especially 4 players.
Yeah, that it
Not with
went
that game.
online.
Yeah.
And it
So,
was a
oh
front
boy.
runner there.
So I'm looking
um
here. This was actually also released I'm talking about Final Fantasy Star Online 2. This was actually
That's right.
released on PlayStation Vita on 2013.
That's that's right. It would release on the PlayStation Vita, and then in more recent years, they did like another insult. Uh,
PlayStation 4,
it
but
wasn't too terribly
Japanese.
long. It wasn't too terribly long after the Switch came out. Some time had passed, but even the Switch got a
Yeah,
version of it, if you can believe
exactly.
it.
On the two
The cloud version of it. Um, so
Japanese
it's
version.
yeah, and so 2015 comes around. I remember 2015 clearly because that's when I moved places and I made like a big upgrade to my computer at the time, like graphics card or something like that. Big to me for the amount of money I had. Um, and this was 2015. I was fed up. I already waited 3 years for this.
Like,
I'm playing
bruh.
this game. I I know even back then I knew some Japanese words and phrases from just anime and like some lessons
Yeah, of
that I
course.
like looked up to
And,
try to do myself.
and I was
Um,
actually willing to like at least download it in Japanese on PC. I just
that's right.
wouldn't care like if I don't understand it. I just wanted to play the game back in the day. I was like so
Uh,
desperate.
and that's what I did. I did it, and you would not. I shudder to think at how much time I spent registering on the Japanese website when there are captchas,
Yeah.
Japanese like katakana and like hiragana captchas when I
Yes.
don't know the characters, translating them and copy pasting the characters,
Yeah.
from a different website trying to get in. I eventually got in, and
Wow.
I played a ranger up to a little past level 20, like just brute forcing my way through the game. There was at least a guide, and playing Fantasy Star before, I have a vague recollection of what item symbols were, so I knew this would restore my health, and
Wow.
whatnot. But there are still plenty I was missing out on, like all the story, the new ways of playing the game. Like, forget feeding my mag. I didn't even understand that the first time I was playing the way through, so that wasn't going to happen. But against
Wow.
all odds, I played it up to like level 20 something.
Wow, that's far.
Um, yeah, and people, there are plenty of other people out there frustrated too because there would also be, and this was after I kind of, quit at the time because of
Wow.
the struggle, but there
Right.
would eventually be a team that was able to hack English into the parts of the game that they could
Like the
that were
English
client
patch.
side. Yeah, that weren't clients that it could only be client side, of course. There was
Right.
some server side stuff they couldn't touch. And so that would be developed quite a while after I quit. And they made some headway into it. Uh and so that was neat and made me want to get back into it, but then I wasn't going to be too positive about my account information.
I don't know why the hell
Um,
Sega will do this, man. Like with other franchises, this one they treat it so different, and they just like they think that people don't actually like this kind of franchise. I like even the first one. I like playing it on my
yes.
Dreamcast. I love it. It's just very unique. But then it's just
Well,
like I don't know, it just disappeared, and it just came to life at the 2012 with the second game, and it was all Japanese, and
yeah. And so just one other just another tidbit I want to mention.
right.
Just back to the website for a second. That English website that I talked about, when I first went up in like 2012,
Mm-hmm.
it it stayed up and nothing changed. I honestly would check it every now and then.
It's
And
still the
then
same.
they just eventually took it offline in like 2016, 2012. Like it just vanished. It was just gone.
Wow. Did you think
And then
they
I don't know when
like
it came back.
bailed on it at some point? Like Sega just
Yeah,
like
they like
they just this
gave
is not
up.
going to like. Wow. I think that was
That's
actually
right.
happened because it was only a Japanese release, and there was no patch or US release nowhere. I mean, we're talking about 2012 here. I mean, this is basically PlayStation 3 era,
Yeah,
360
and
era.
enough time has passed, and I'm not a huge graphics guy, but I have to agree with some of the hardcore fans on this. So much time has passed, even though it has a bit of a timeless art style because it's largely anime.
Yeah.
You can tell the graphics have aged in the
It
time
has
period that it's
aged.
come out.
I've
Yeah.
downloaded this on my Xbox One, and dude, I
Mhm.
was like, man, this looks like a PlayStation 3 game.
Yeah, because it was
Like,
that time, man.
yeah, exactly. I'm like, oh gosh, some of them look good, some of them look, you know. At least
Yeah.
the cinematic CGI, they look decent, but the gameplay,
Yeah, there's that.
oof, and the monsters, oof, they look PSP. They look PSP, man. Like, but
We're
anyways,
gonna see. We're gonna see. Um so the after all that, it eventually just kind of comes up out of nowhere
yep,
for the original Xbox, which is just another gut punch to me.
yeah,
It's like I've been looking
brick.
out for this, and like apparently Microsoft is the one to save it, and it's stuck
Yep.
on Xbox. That's like one system I don't have. So that's cool that like people like you and others were at least, getting something and not nothing at all.
I
Um
mean, Xbox is dry for all these 4 years straight, so they must have something like. I mean, I think this was Phil Spencer going on in Japan. I think this was one of his
yeah.
goals to like, hey, let's just bring this old game to to the U.S. and let's see if it does something, you know, uh, do something. But dude, it's been so long that no other U.S. company will like, not even Sega U.S.
Yep.
Not even Sega US, but like, man, this game going do anything here. But man, like, there's a lot of people playing it right now. I can guarantee you, if you like, I know Xbox is dry. Isn't
Yeah.
Xbox is just like, it has no freaking you know exclusive games. It's just like a brick.
Yeah.
But at least this game, Final Fantasy Star Online 2, I mean,
Yeah.
it's good even though the graphics are dated. I mean, it doesn't do any justice because of course the Xbox is way more powerful than the PlayStation 3, the Xbox 360 at the same time, and this not an upgrade. It's just the same game. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
this might turn people off a bit because the graphics look very dated. But as for me, I really don't mind because I play old games all the time.
Well, yeah, we both agree
Yeah,
with that. And
exactly.
if people would give it a chance, it's not like, it was released once back in 2012 and then
Mm-hmm.
this is the game we're finally getting.
Right.
This is like an MMORPG that has
Mm-hmm.
been updated with new content to this
Right.
day
Mm-hmm.
actually.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's minor, but oftentimes it's been major, and I haven't kept tabs with that because it's just so far away. But still, there's been like big major expansions like plugged into the game, like a lot of like a lot of popular MMOs get to this day.
I had to look.
Expansion packs.
Let me see if this came out 2012. And when did Final Fantasy 14 Online came out? Was it 2011? Let me check.
I don't know.
FF14. Was it 14? Yeah, it was 14.
Yeah, 14's the MMO. While you're looking that up, that's like a funny tale I can weave.
Yeah, I mean,
Shinja, yeah, our
2010. Okay, so
2010.
yeah, 2010. So this turd came out on 2010 because it was a turd when it came out. Now,
Yeah.
seeing that Final Fantasy Star Online 2 was not as a turd in Japan,
No,
because
for sure
I
not. I mean, it even had a tie-in anime.
exactly, like, dude, the anime that came out, I think it was last year. I was watching it. I was like, when are you gonna come out? I was so desperate to just play the
I
goddamn
know
game, and like stop
it.
watching the anime and then just go straight to the game. Like, and it was like at least 27 episodes, maybe.
It
Dude,
I'm gonna give it another chance, but it hurt me in multiple levels to watch the anime. One, because it was a game that wasn't coming here, and that I had like the anime was sometime after I tried the game. I'm pretty darn sure.
yeah,
Um, like the pain of wanting to go back to it. Two, I love anime. I I loved my time with the game. I just love Fantasy Star. But that game, as much as I enjoy both of those things, that this particular anime felt so much like a commercial for a game
it did.
that I couldn't get my hands on and wrap my head around. The whole thing,
It
like
was a total insult.
I know this is like Power Rangers trying to sell me toys. It's like Ninja Turtles trying to sell me toys.
Exactly.
It was that, except it wasn't even like masked in entertainment that much. It's just like these. I wanted it to be in the universe to the game. I wanted to understand more about, more about the world of Fantasy Star, and instead, this is just a huge commercial for just playing the game, and that hurt too.
It's like because when it started, the anime when the anime started, they never said that it was gonna come out by then.
Yeah, that's
Then, like
right.
a few months later, Xbox announced that Final Fantasy Star Online 2 was gonna come out to the Xbox. That was like I think it was on December last year, or maybe January this year. I do not remember, but it was very close to 3 months after the release date, before the release date. Sorry. But damn,
Yeah.
I needed to watch the full anime because when I start something, I need to finish it. But man, it was
Yeah,
painful.
I get that. I get that. It takes quite a bit to get me to drop something. I get it. I put myself through stuff like that
Because I
before,
like the
but
characters, the music. It felt Sega. The music felt Sega. The animation felt like the actual game. But then it was a
yeah, the
torture at
designs.
the same time because you wanted to play the game.
Yeah,
It's Man, it
I
was
did my best.
yeah, it was a tease and a slap in the face. Like, is this a game actually gonna come out? But then here comes Uncle Phil saving the day with Fantasy Star Online 2 on the Xbox. But dude, it's been such a long time, a long ass waiting, dude. I think it almost feel like a Shenmue thing.
Yeah,
it,
yeah. I
it's
mean, I
Sega
get
again.
that. It's
It's
reminiscent, sure.
Sega. It's like, oh yeah, we're just going to drop this and like, yeah, just keep on going with something else. Like Sega likes to drop stuff, you know. They're
Yeah,
like, yeah, these people, they just. But
they've at
yeah,
least hung on to Yakuza, but they
oh
don't
yeah, but
give their other properties enough of a chance. It's like
right,
Sonic or re-release Yakuza again.
yeah, but yeah. Is this actually coming in other platforms?
It
Mm,
is, it just seems like Microsoft, like I don't know their entire, their level of involvement, but it kind of feels like when I see what Microsoft has done, like how this is stuck on, the Microsoft Store,
mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
Xbox and everything. It reminds me of how Bayonetta 2 wasn't going to happen. Um,
Oh,
like
that.
Sega didn't want to pick that up, or like whoever. I don't know why I'm thinking Sega, because it's Platinum who developed it.
But
Maybe Sega
Sega
did publish it
published it. Yeah, exactly.
and didn't want to pay for a second one, but then it's like Nintendo came in and it's like we'll publish it, and now it's like under their wing, you know. But that's where Bayonetta 3 is going to end up, as far as we know. It's going to be hanging out,
Oh boy,
Nintendo
yeah,
console and
this
stuff like
Sega.
that. That's what I feel like's happened to Fantasy Star. I
Yeah.
feel like Sega didn't, if they are the ones behind Bayonetta, you're making me want to look this up because I actually don't know who published Bayonetta.
It has to be Sega.
Hideki Kamiya and everything. Out on everything. Developed by Platinum.
Published by Sega.
Sure. Yeah, Sega.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, dude. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Sega didn't want to pay for Bayonetta 2, so somebody else comes swoops in to publish it. Sega didn't want to pay for Phantasy Star Online 2 infrastructure, localization, and whatever systems they need because the game has
Man, what's
microtransactions
wrong with
within
Sega,
reason and
man?
stuff. This is Sega's fault.
Yeah.
This isn't the first time they've acted like this.
I mean, like, Jesus, like in the there's a couple of Yakuza games that they were just full Japanese. I do
Mm-hmm.
not mind reading subtitles, but you 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 will notice some changes in Sega when it comes to Judgment, the spin-off of the Yakuza games. It's
Yeah.
all dub.
Wow.
It's dub instead of I can still switch it to Japanese, but since I'm really lazy reading the subtitles all the time, then I just like just hear them talk English and just have a fun time with the dubbing and the English voice acting. But it's like if no one do something, especially especially Sega games. Especially Sega games, if no one actually do anything, Sega just like completely, they just don't care. It's, it's like
It's happening again.
it's I don't know what the Sonic franchise, because they've been bombing badly with the freaking for Hedgehog there.
Yeah.
I don't know. They need more love in their franchises. That's Shenmue was one of them, and they just bailed it out until Sony came out to the rescue and like, hey, let's just bring this back. And Sega just like, okay. I'm like, come on. It's like, man, that I know that Sega, the Dreamcast was the last console and all, but don't treat your franchises like it's just a money grab. It's like, okay, it's there. Final Fantasy's, Fantasy Star Online 2, when it was released, I only knew it because of a weird advertisement online. I was like, back in those days when you were going to those weird websites to watch anime,
Yeah.
the advertisements on the side were like, wait, oh, then I clicked on it and like it's straight to the website, and back in the days those websites were like really cheesy and all flat.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't have a really decent computer back then because I think it was PC, PlayStation 4 maybe. Let me look that up again. Yeah. Okay. So I don't see here that it was on PlayStation 3 though. Well, it was straight up Microsoft Windows, PS
Yeah.
Vita, PlayStation
Yeah.
4, Xbox One Japan, and Nintendo Switch Japan, of course. But
Dumbfounding.
yeah.
Dumb, man. I held a candle for this game for over 8 years.
Are you
I
going
really
to
did.
buy an Xbox for this game, Dan? Are you willing to do that?
If I I started to think so, dude. When they said it was just coming to Xbox and there wasn't they wouldn't put their foot down about confirming a PC release, I came close. I came close because we kind of I don't know. I kind of felt like I started to kind of maybe used an Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
Because we were sent Rare Replay, and I'm just dying to see what Jet Force Gemini looks and plays like for Rare Replay. All those old games in HD,
Mm-hmm.
and
Right.
then I guess Sea of Thieves came by, and that was cool. But I mean, it's like you said, it was dry. There wasn't anything wanting to bring me to the console. We'll
That's
see
it.
how they do next gen.
Exactly. Of course. I mean, but this game brings you back, and hopefully you will buy an Xbox One, maybe a cheap an Xbox One, because right now they're cheap. Uh,
Yeah, it's true. They are. That's part of what was like leaning me towards that too.
yeah.
It's just because they've gotten cheaper. But I held I held on longer because I have played that PC release that exists. I knew it
Yeah,
existed because
exactly.
I
Yeah.
played it.
Of
And
course, you have evidence.
yeah. And still like there's still, how do I put this? Because it's like a little bit weird because I'm not in the Xbox ecosystem, but they have what's called like play anywhere.
Right. Yes.
Where they just had that. So that was some of the struggle I had today, because today is the day that we were supposed to be able to get a launcher.
Right.
And so I was freaking out in my Discord about it.
Yeah.
And I was wondering what's up. And
Uh,
what's happening is, on the Microsoft Store, though they're talking about the launcher coming out, in the Microsoft Store, like I even signed into my PC with the Microsoft account. Like if that's what it took to get this game, is going to do it. So I did all that, and the link from PSO2's actual Twitter to link to it is the link to the Xbox version. And so what's happening today is the store isn't even getting its own like PC page, even in the Microsoft Store. You hang out at the Xbox's place
mhm.
to install, and then tonight at 1 a.m. my time, they're going to go into maintenance, and it takes over to being a Play Anywhere title that you'll be able to play on your PC. So that's their roundabout way of saying, here's the PC version finally.
On a Microsoft Store.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally.
And I can't guarantee this for sure, but there are even rumblings of it, like it was its own standalone EXE in Japan. There was like, it just had its own launcher,
Yeah.
but I can't confirm this, but I thought there were rumblings of it like even coming to Steam back in 2012.
Wow,
And so
yeah,
it
it
didn't
all,
happen.
yeah, man. It's just, it all depends on, people, these big companies bringing it here in the U.S. Sega U.S. didn't do jack. Other people
They
need
did
to
not.
do their job then. And that's the problem that we have with this game and a lot of games from Sega. So hopefully this game does well, and have an upgrade, because I know that they can actually upgrade a little bit on the graphics. This game is for free. I mean, like,
Yeah,
people can go ahead and buy some, and use the Xbox and just download this for free, and you can play the full game. There's
I yeah, I mean, I've kept an eye on the PSO2 Twitter, and that's just how I've like kept in touch with that stuff. And there was a loud community of PC people, and I had seen streams of it when it first came out on Xbox, and it was doing great. It was just like every other MMO launch, man. You
yeah,
couldn't get in because they're too slammed,
yeah, exactly. It's
just like every other kind of MMO
I
launch,
think, yeah, I think this is one of the Xbox One first MMO in in their service.
Oh yeah, probably. I
It's
mean,
it's
do
basic.
they have 14?
No, they don't have 14. Nope.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
So this is their first one in this generation. Um, Aside by I think Fallout 74, but that
Yeah,
uh,
76. Yeah,
nah.
doesn't matter. Game sucks.
Yeah, it's trash anyways. I mean, if you want a real MMO, go ahead and get an Xbox One and play this game. PS, yeah, Fantasy Star Online too. So yeah, guys, is there anything else you want to say about this game, Dan?
As of recording this, they say
Mm-hmm.
they had to update their page. It comes out like it switches over at 1 a.m. my time today. But it goes into maintenance after that, which they say can go until 5. And then
Holy freak!
so I'm under the impression we'll be able to download it, but we wouldn't be able to get in until 5 in the morning. But
Wow.
my
Even
plan, my plan tomorrow, Wednesday, the 27th, is to play this game as much as I can. I haven't finished Final Fantasy VII Remake yet. Still, I haven't
right,
been
yeah.
making the time, but I'm throwing everything off the table, and I'm going to play this as much as I can tomorrow. I can't afford to be up until 5 in the morning and stay up all day, but
I mean the
that.
first I think the first hour is just tutorials and games showing you what to
Oh
do.
yeah, the game didn't have a tutorial when I first played it either.
Oh
Not that I
dang.
could, not that I could read it. They updated the game with that later. I
Oh
saw.
yeah, cause
Yeah.
right now it's like there's a tutorial that teaches you how to do this and the combos. The good thing about this game, it has combos. It's not like a strong
Yep.
attack and then a light attack. No, you can actually make combos
Yeah.
with this MMO, which is awesome. I really
Action
want to get
RPG,
it.
dude.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yes. So if you, me, Dan, I don't know. I mean, if we get
It's
into
crossplay.
yeah, it is
It's
crossplay.
crossplay.
So if we
Does that
get
mean you and me are playing this game?
yes, we
Me,
are.
you, and every other Xbox player is going to be ahead of me, but we will be playing the game together. What ship are you
Yes.
on?
Jesus.
If you don't remember, that's
I
fine.
don't
We can
remember,
figure it out
but
later.
it's I don't think I have a gameplay yet on that, but I'll be letting you know and Discording you. So,
Okay,
anyways,
well, you
uh,
let me know. I'm gonna be rolling a Raycast on some
yes.
ship tomorrow. We'll see.
Indeed. So yeah, guys, feel free to download this game. It's for free. Finally, something Xbox does right. So props to Uncle Phil. And yeah, guys, please don't forget to favorite, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for supporting the channel. This has been Zyberpunky.
It's been Officer Dan. Thanks for listening.
See you guys later.